All right, sorry. I was going to hit the intro, and then of course much like the Vikings offense and entire team, my system's locked up there. So it's a good fitting start to Vikings Vent Line, presented by Surly Brewing Company. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad from US Bank Stadium, and our executive producer Declan Goff. And I just want to tell you guys what a great way to start off World Mental Health Day. Not sure if you guys knew that, but I think we could all use a good therapy session here following whatever that was that we just watched, Vikings versus Lions, for nearly 3 hours at US Bank Stadium. If you're watching us on the Purple Daily YouTube channel on a TCL TV, thank you guys. TCL is a huge supporter of us here on Purple Daily and Ventline, and they've got a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. Let's give our quick thoughts on this, and then we turn the show over. This is the most fan-friendly and interactive show in Minnesota sports. It's Vikings Ventline. But Judd Zulgad, if it's not too loud there at the stadium, if the fans aren't too raucous, celebrating just an unbelievable come-from-behind victory in the final seconds, how much elation is pouring out of US Bank Stadium right now, Judd?
Thank God for the Detroit Lions. I mean, God put the Lions on this earth to be an absurdly poor football team. So teams like the Vikings on a day like this could actually come away saying, oh, we're very excited by our win that was undeserved. This to me, so I'll be quick here because I really want to hear what the fan base has to say, but this to me was almost a loss. The way that you played, like my judgment of where this team was going to be at now, and trying to say, well, Cincinnati's not as bad as we thought, close game, right? Arizona's not as bad as we thought, close game. I felt like the Cleveland game was a bad game for them. But anyway, after today, I'm pretty much done. The play calling was absurdly bad. I mean, you're playing the Detroit Lions and you're acting like we got to ground and pound. And Justin Jefferson, I mean, if Justin Jefferson doesn't demand a trade in the post game today, assuming that he's allowed to talk, shame on him. Because what he should do is FaceTime with Stephon Diggs and have Diggs on FaceTime at the podium and say, Stephon's talking for me, and we all won out. That was a ridiculous offensive game plan. That was a ridiculous game. That was a poorly coached game. Dan Campbell's a moron, which obviously helps, although I did love the 2-point play, and they got it. That was a great gutsy call, but there were other questionable things. But my quick takeaway is I'm pretty much done here. I mean, this was a gross display of football on both sides, and I can't get past what I saw. And to say that I'm scarred, and the only way to take away those scars is a surly furious is accurate. And unfortunately here in the press box, because I'm a true professional and I hate Declan right now because he has access to Surly and I don't. My football psyche is scarred forever after watching this debacle.
All right. Okay. Well, that's awfully negative because
You like that? You like that?
what I saw was the fourth quarter comeback in Kirk Cousins' Vikings career. The dagger doctor, Mr. Game-winning drive, pulling all the right. Judd has left the show. Judd is leaving the show. The late game luminary, the colossus of clutch, the secondary slayer, setting Greg Joseph up for a redemption kick heard round the world, and the Vikings have won 2 out of 3 at home. They travel to Carolina to get back to 500 before the bye week. What a victory for Mr. Game-winning drive, Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. That's my takeaway.
Wow.
Declan?
Is it bad that after Dan Campbell, with the genius call to go for 2, by the way, like I could spend, I think, 45 minutes just talking about the greatness of that call being 0-5 and deciding to go for 2 and go for the win, which is an awesome, badass call. Dan Campbell shaving off kneecaps, shaving off kickers' extra points, going for 2. Love that call. I kind of wanted them to lose at that point. I kind of wanted the Vikings to lose. And that's sad, but I kind of wanted that just to see how this would happen, because it was classic Vikings for Madison to fumble at the last second. The offense just, Clint Kubiak, which I know we're probably going to get into today, tomorrow, and on Tuesday on both Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily. It was just kind of a pathetic performance overall. But, hey, you get the win. But unlike Judd, I'm going to enjoy this surly hell, but I would prefer a furious, because I'm like Judd. I'm pretty furious after this one.
So, all right, let's get into it here. It looks like, by the way, did the Packers just miss another game-winning field goal? I think Mason Crosby missed a 36-yarder.
Yes.
So the NFC North is going to be wide open, baby, if the Packers can't close this thing in Cincinnati. But let's actually pose the sort of the notion that Declan just did as an overarching theme as you guys come into the show here. We'd love your thoughts. When the Lions successfully hit that 2-point conversion to take the lead, or even before that,
True.
did you want the Vikings to lose? And I know a lot of people are going to say, "Well, you can't be a true fan if you're." No. Did you want the Vikings to take one step back for a future 2 steps forward, whatever that may have been? That, hey, if they lose in this fashion, Mike Zimmer gets fired. Now you go after an offensive-minded coach for next year. I'm just curious how many Vikings fans got to that point during that 2-point conversion. Did you want your favorite team to lose for long-term gain? Very curious. Here's how it works. We are pretty jammed on guests here. We have a full waiting room and then some, but whether it's this week or future weeks, VikingsVentline@gmail.com if you want to be part of the show. And Declan will send you the invite, and we might be able to bring you in here. Please click the like button and the subscribe button on the YouTube video. It helps spread the word about the show. Let's get to it, Dex.
All right, man.
Vikings Vent Line.
Let's fire it off here. Let's start with Jacob. Jacob, what's going on, dude?
All right. First of all, I will be honest. I did cheer for the Vikings to lose at the end. Not for the Vikings to lose, for Zimmer to lose. I really want him fired. But when I thought about it at the time, I was like, yeah, go for 2. That would win you the game. But in reality, if they kick that kick, do you think Zimmer goes, hey, let's run the ball 2 times and then we go to overtime? They might have had a better chance to win the game in overtime because we went to try to win.
That's a great
I don't
point.
know.
That's a really good point.
It's just like you guys always say, the goal of the show is to win a Super Bowl. The goal of Zimmer for every game is not to lose. He doesn't coach to win. And you just see that in the team when it's like everyone knows we are going to run on 2nd and 10. It's like, who runs on 2nd and 10 every single time? It just makes zero sense.
Yeah.
You guys have brought it up. Justin Jefferson should want to be traded. If I was him, I don't know why I'd want to be here. And I have a question. Who would deny trading a 2nd-round pick for Eric Bieniemy or the guy from the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I would trade a pick, or maybe even a first. Like, let's be honest.
I mean, I think he is available just like for free after the season. But if you're that desperate to get an offensive-minded guy in here that you give up a 2nd-round pick, all right, I can hear you.
I don't know. It's just because the thing is, with our luck, we're not going to get him because we're probably going to go 9-8 or 8-9, and Wolf, the nice guy that he is probably going to be like, all right, let's give him another chance. You know, I'm paying him, might as well give him another chance. And I don't know, with how little our rookies have played, how bad our offense has looked, regardless of how much talent is on it. Like, I don't think Spielman should have a job, and I don't think Zimmer should either.
Yeah, Jacob, dude, great leadoff call, man. And your guy, by the way, Kendricks had I mean, in terms of silver linings, that guy had a ridiculous interception today.
Yeah, he's
that one-handed pick. So
he's the bomb.
yeah,
Thank you, guys.
Jacob, what a great leadoff call there. Judd, your thoughts on Jacob?
Yeah, I think he's right. I mean, just let's scale this down to just today's game. Can anybody, and I kept tweeting about this, explain the play calling to me? You're playing the Detroit Lions. They're banged up on defense. They're also not good because they're the Lions. Can you explain this to me?
Let me tell you
From
something.
Zimmer's standpoint, from Kubiak's standpoint, anybody's standpoint?
Let me tell you something. So we were blessed, again, on Fox, for those of you who weren't inside the stadium. I mean, what a memory if you were inside the stadium. You get to tell your kids about one of the most clutch comeback wins in Vikings history. Improbable. 37 seconds left on the clock, and the dagger doctor comes down and shows you why he is the $35 million man. But when you have on the broadcast call, and we're blessed with Chris Myers and Daryl Moose Johnston, right? Daryl Moose Johnson is a 1990s fullback, okay? It doesn't get any more old school and conservative offensively than a 1990s fullback. And he spent the entire second half questioning and teeing off on Vikings play calling. That's all you need to know. Moose Johnson thought they were too conservative offensively.
But how does Justin Jefferson, 6 targets first half, 5 catches, more than 100 yards, makes a couple unbelievable catches? How does he get lost in the second half? And if you say, well, he's being taken away, Judge, you don't understand. Well, then where's Thielen? Where's KJ Osborne? I really have no idea what Kubiak was doing. And it was, you know what? Today, the first series on. Like, what the hell happened? You just played Seattle. Seattle gives up more yards but fewer points than Detroit does, okay? This should have been Seattle all over again. You should have daggered the Lions, who, by the way, come into every stadium they play in now hoping to be like, just put us out of our misery. So if anybody knows what the hell that they were doing with the runs on 2nd and long and not going to Jefferson more, if I was Jefferson, I would be pissed off. Flat out today. I'd be pissed off right now.
I'd be more pissed if I was Thielen than Jefferson, but yeah, I mean, like,
you know what? Thielen's valuable and I like him, but he's a nice player. Justin Jefferson is a bleeping star. Like
he is, but Juddy, what do you like? Justin Jefferson was about the only player that made sense off.
Right.
You're saying he should have had more than 8 targets? Is that what you're saying?
In the second half, they forgot about him for a huge period of time. He was torching them. He made a couple catches that first catch on, I think it was a 42-yard pass from Cousins, where Cousins, it was Cunningham to Moss, 98. Cousins did a nice job, put air under a ball, and with the guy all over him, Jefferson went and made that catch. Thielen plays a role, and I like him, but come on. Justin Jefferson was eating those guys up, and you just sort of said, we got Alexander Madison.
I think, so first of all, I agree with your general sentiment here in that I guess the way I saw it was the Lions probably did some things to just take Justin Jefferson out of the equation in the second half, but there are other weapons out there besides short passes to a backup running back in C.J. Ham. I mean, it is 2021. Offenses are as explosive and creative as we've ever seen, and the Vikings have weapons all over the field, even without Dalvin Cook, and Mike Zimmer is advocating for 2nd and long handoffs and running the first half clock out with 40 seconds to go and 2 timeouts. Like, dude, get out of the way. Either get out of the way or tell your offensive masterminds in Clint Kubiak and Kirk Cousins to be more aggressive, and then get out of the way. Or just go away and go be a defensive coordinator for somebody, not a head coach. That was one of the most embarrassing offensive schematic and conservative efforts, quote unquote, that I have seen in the 8 years of Mike Zimmer, and it's been a conservative 8 years offensively. So I agree. I mean, Justin Jefferson had a huge game, and they probably tried to take him out of it, but that doesn't mean you have to just, do the shrug emoji. I don't know. I guess they're bracketing Justin Jefferson. I guess we can't. We have to give it to C.J. Ham and Alex Madison. Sorry. Okay. Nice job. Let's get to our next Vikings fan here.
Let's go to Zach. Zach, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, dude.
I'm depressed. I was so excited watching Alex Madison fumble, and then the DeAndre Swift touchdown, and Dan Campbell having the balls to go for 2. I was pumped. Happiest I've been all season. And then we came back, and we won.
So you were there. You were there. You were rooting against your favorite team, not because you're a bad fan, but because you want them to be better long term, right?
Yeah, I was ready for Mike Zimmer to go. My girlfriend was confused at why I was cheering on the Lions. But it doesn't know the pain, doesn't know the struggle that we go through every week.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. It's just one more week of the same old stuff. But yeah.
Well, Zach, we're here for you. We're your therapists, and as now Daniel points out on the screen, yes, this is World Mental Health Day. Very fitting if you're a Vikings fan today or a Lions fan. I mean, we should welcome Lions fans in here too. You guys probably need therapy too after just 50 years of pretty much that.
We can't help them. No. That's way too much.
Too far gone.
Yeah, they're too far gone, and we don't get paid enough to try and help Lions fans.
You're probably right. Zach, thank you for jumping on here on Vikings Vent Line. Deck, let's keep rolling here.
Yep. Let's keep rolling. Let's go to Joseph. Joseph, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line. How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got you, man.
Finally get to be on here, man. I listen to you guys all the time. Great points. I like watching when Realistic Randy comes on. My attitude toward this game is y'all asked did people cheer for the team when Madison fumbled and they scored and they went for 2 points. I have to admit, I picked them to lose this game today. The simple fact is, I watched Pete Bursich break down tape last week of the Lions and against the Bears last week, and they just blew all types of opportunities. They had guys wide open. They had 5 times where they were in the red zone. They could have scored touchdowns, and they blew it. It wasn't anything the Bears did. It was what the Lions did. So this game concerned me because I'm just tired of this, man. I'm tired. I'm ready to blow this thing up. This archaic offense. I didn't even watch the game today. And so when I saw the fumble and I saw them score and I saw the 2 points, it didn't surprise me one bit. So I'm really just over the whole thing. I'm with you guys. I've been a Vikings fan for 33 years, and I've seen this over and over and over. And I'm like, it has to come to a point where ownership, they say they're fans, they say they care about the fans, they say they care about the team. When are they going to do something? Because this is just people keep saying, well, we got to win. We got to win against the Lions, who haven't beaten anybody. And I mean, they've been bad as we are, but they fight. These guys show up and they fight. Whereas our team, we have all this firepower. We have Justin, we have Conklin, and I kept looking at the score. I was like, they're not doing anything. So my whole point is I'm just tired of this whole thing. And I was with you guys last year when we were 1-5, and you was like, let nature take its course, play for the draft pick, and they didn't do that. So,
we needed like football Jack Kevorkian just to come in last year when the Vikings were 1-5 and just self-assisted. Joseph, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate your thoughts. I think Joseph speaks for a lot of fans where you're sitting there and you're a little more frustrated. Actually, our last 2 guys came on here and were like kind of mad that they won the game. I would be curious to hear more from people on that as we go. So keep that in mind as you guys bring your thoughts. Like, did you want the Vikings to lose at any point in that fourth quarter? Let's keep going here, Dex.
All right, man. Let's go to Hafid. Hafid, you popped off there with your video. You got us now, okay? Pop Hafid.
I think we lost.
There.
I think
That's
we
all
lost
good.
Hafid there.
Let's roll back to El Papi. Is that what we got here?
Yes, sir.
What's up,
Yes,
man?
sir. First and foremost, is it too early to start to embrace the tank like last season? It's so embarrassing. I think this was the most embarrassing win I've ever felt as a Vikings fan. And the fact that Justin Jefferson hit 100 yards in the first half and they did not keep feeding him in the second half. I even think the announcer said that you should be torching that secondary because they had so many injuries. The Lions did. And they kept running it. And C.J. Ham, they act like this guy is Dalvin Cook. I cannot believe the routes they're doing for this fullback. I mean, I can't even start to begin. And then Rashad Hill, oh my word, he was getting abused again. And the Lions, who can't even bring pressure. I don't even know who was it, Trey Flott, or who was their defensive end that they started today. I can't even name him, and he was completely abusing Rashad Hill. Let's start embracing the tank. Let's clean house. Zimmer, Spielman got to go. I'm sorry. That was just hard to watch.
Dude, I mean, bringing fire to the show. Judd, is it too loud there still?
He's right.
Okay.
Zim is talking right now, and he's on the speaker. So you tell me if you can hear a lot of it bleeding through. He sounds really down, which he should. I'm glad to hear he sounds down because he looked excited. But when the kick went through by Joseph, if you're a head coach, you got to be disgusted by this. You have to be.
Speaking of disgusted head coaches, so Dan Campbell is actually choked up and borderline crying at his press conference right now. Quote, "When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough. You want that for them." Yeah, like, God, they went for 2, man. They went for 2, and they got it. And the Vikings come stumbling back down the field. And by the way, the longest did the Vikings intentionally try and wait like 10 seconds to spike that ball before the 54-yard field goal?
Yes.
Was that their goal? Why didn't they spike it with 9 seconds and run an out route or something?
Because
they're conservative. I guess I'll just answer my question.
Kirk wanted to kill as much clock as possible. That's exactly right.
All right. El Papi, any final thoughts from you after this just epic come from behind victory by the Vikings?
I've been in the game of saying we should embrace the tank and start like looking for the future since last year. If you guys remember, I was all in for Justin Fields, but it's more obviously you cheer as a Vikings fan, you never want to see your team lose, but it's almost like you're cheering for mediocrity. Like you're just hoping there's nothing like behind Kirk Cousins. You can be like, this team in maybe 3 to 5 years can take that big step to go into the Super Bowl. And it's just I don't know. It's bittersweet almost, you're like happy they won, but at the same time you're like, what, we're going to finish 8-8, 9-9 this year. I mean, it's just, I don't know. That's my final thoughts.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. El Papi, bringing the noise. Judd, one of the points he brought up was Rashad Hill, I went and looked before the game. So according to Pro Football Focus, 77 qualified tackles. He's ranked 75th. So the bar is very low for Christian Darrisaw to clear to just be better than Rashad Hill. Rashad Hill was terrible again today, at least by the eye test. Then they bring Darrisaw in, and he got beat a couple times too. But then they went back and forth in the second half, and Mike Zimmer confirmed, the plan was to rotate those guys. Do we need a rotation?
No, play
Darrisaw.
No, he's your first-round pick. That's ridiculous. Once he plays, and he should have started, he's playing. Acting like you owe Rashad Hill a career backup something is absolutely ridiculous. And it was fitting that one of the first times in the second half they put Hill back in, he got absolutely trucked and Kirk got hit. Like Darrisaw needs to grow and learn, and I'm sure he'll make mistakes. But guess what? He's a first-round pick. Rashad Hill is a career backup. Today's game drove me crazy. Like I could go off on about 8 things that occurred in today's game, because the one thing that really, really makes me nuts is a complete lack of common sense in coaching and decisions when these guys are paid to do this. And we watch games on our couch and we can be like, you shouldn't do that. What are you doing here? Why go so conservative? Why not start Christian Darrisaw and play him? You started out really well. You sat Cook, which, by the way, I was all for and I still think was a smart move. Again, if you can't beat Detroit without Cook, your season's done. Mm-hmm. So I like that. But in game, that is, I think, as bad as Clint has been this year. I at times was pleasantly surprised. And week 1, we talked about, well, they were behind the chains so much. It was, 2nd and 13. That's really tough. So he almost got a pass on that game. He ain't getting a pass on this game.
But don't you think it's Clint with Mike Zimmer's large and influential guiding hand? Like when they're running the ball on like 2nd and 16.
Yeah.
They're throwing screen passes on 3rd and 16. It was the most conservative approach I have seen all season from this offense. A lot of that's Mike Zimmer. Like if Mike Zimmer were to walk in and say, "Hey, let's cut it loose here. We got Justin Jefferson. Let's take some shots. Let's be aggressive. End of the first half. Let's not run the ball twice." To me, that's Mike Zimmer. When they run the ball twice with 2 timeouts and 40 seconds left at the end of the first half and wave the white flag, that's Mike Zimmer.
I am bothered by the entire thing. So yeah, it's Mike, it's Clint. It's absolutely maddening to watch an offense against Detroit operate like that. Yeah. Because it makes 0 sense. It makes no sense. You now have 3 wide receivers who are very functional and good. KJ Osborne's good. And so if Jefferson, let's say, and I disagree with this, but let's say you said Justin Jefferson's gone. He's out of the game plan. We can't do a thing about it. You got 2 other guys to throw to. And you're still relying on Alexander Madison to carry you, which, by the way, I like him. That's a ridiculous ask.
We're going to get to we have a Dan Campbell clip here in just a second, but just because I want to piggyback one thing off what Judd said. I feel like the entire Vikings organization, from ownership to front office to the head coach to the play calling, and even to Kirk Cousins and his approach oftentimes, everything about the Vikings organization is catered to avoiding failure rather than achieving peak Super Bowl success. Like they are, end of the first half is a great microcosm. Oh, but what if we turn the ball? Like everything is, we got to guard against misfortune, as Jim Poleb would say. So let's hand the ball off. And of course, as they're guarding against misfortune at the end of the fourth quarter, guess what happens? Misfortune happens. Alex Madison fumbles. Step on the freaking gas. Beat that team 30-7 like you should have. Your offense is good enough to score 30 points a game. You're averaging 30 points a game offensively so far this season. And so, like, for them to continue to crawl into this conservative shell, but it goes for 15 years. This team has been more obsessed from ownership all the way to play calling, and with multiple different coaches too. They've been obsessed with avoiding failure more than they've been obsessed with trying to become a Super Bowl champion. And today was a great microcosm to prove that point.
And how do you let that happen against Detroit? Like, how do you let that happen against a bad team that you know that you should destroy, and you act like you're game planning for the Super Bowl champions? Like,
It's a rhetorical question.
Right, but
I
I'm
don't
just
know what
saying
to say.
that's what drives me crazy. That's what drives me absolutely up the wall.
Let's hear from sad Dan Campbell here.
And you lose that way, it's tough. You know, you don't want that for them. So, but we'll be better for it, you know. And there again, credit Minnesota, but you know, we made the one mistake that cost us, you know, and so ultimately, you know, we didn't do enough to win. But I was proud of them, and I love the fight they had in them, and I love the grit. I do. And when your defense plays that way, you got a chance to win every game.
Dan Campbell doesn't just like football. Dan Campbell loves football.
Sad Dad Campbell, man.
Vikings Vet Line here. The most fan-friendly, interactive, and therapeutic show in Minnesota sports. Please click the subscribe button and the like button if you're watching us on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Mackie, Judd from the stadium, Declan, our executive producer. All right, let's bring the fans back in the mix here.
Let's try one more time with Hafid. Hafid, you got us, man? You're on Vikings Event Line.
Yeah, hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep,
Gotcha,
we got
man.
you.
Yeah.
Judd, by the way, nice haircut. I like the haircut.
Thank you.
On the football topic, you know, the Vikings organization, it's an issue that stems from the culture. We're witnessing a culture issue, not an X and O issue at the moment. It's the philosophy they have going into games. I watch. What's more disappointing than a Viking game is a Viking presser. You know, I was watching Andre Patterson's presser. A reporter asked him, Griffin is playing outstanding. He's getting after the quarterback. He's getting sacks. Shouldn't he get more playing time than DJ Wanham? He said, you guys don't know what you're talking about. He said, Wanham does so many things that are not sacks, but they do so much on the football field. He's great against the running game, and you know, quarterback drops back 400 times a season, and they only end up getting 12 sacks, and you guys call 12 sacks a great season. I'm like, really? Yeah, it is a great season to have 12 sacks, Patterson. And they all speak in the Zimmer tone. You know, they're like programmed. All these coaches are programmed to coach the way Zimmer wants them to coach. They don't say, you know what, Griffin is dominating. He's amazing. He's getting sacks. That's what we want. They're brushing off things like stats, which matter. You know, they're going to say, somebody asked him, Breeland's been struggling. Is it a scheme issue? Is he struggling with scheme? And he said, no, he just needs to, you know, make a few more plays here and there. He's the worst ranked corner in the entire National Football League. It's not a few plays, buddy. It's entire games he's missing, you know?
Yeah.
And our offense, you know, it's simple. You know, we have a great wide receiver in Justin Jefferson, a reliable one in Thielen. And if we can't get them the ball and, you know, have spread offense and, you know, play modern NFL offense, then we're going to be the 7-8 team, and which means, you know what, Mike Zimmer is always going to have one more year to prove it. They're smart. One more year, guys. We're almost there. One more year. And I feel like that's what he plays the game for, you know, never to get blown out, never to lose in a way where it's too embarrassing. Keep it close, keep it safe. You know, 30 seconds, other teams look at Minnesota Vikings end the half, they say, we got to score. Joe Burrow, who you name it, Jared Goff. But we have Kirk Cousins, Cook, Madison, Jefferson, and we want to run the clock out with 2 timeouts left constantly. So it's a culture issue, and I feel like unless the front office or somebody in management says, guys, this is not going to be winning football or championship football, and we need to correct this, it won't be corrected. It'll just be repetitive, and, you know, we're coming out here for more therapy sessions every game. I think your show is going to need more time, more slots, because there's a lot of suffering people that want to be on the show who want to scream out of their ears. And I'm telling you, you need more days to talk to fans besides once a week.
Hafid.
Appreciate it, man.
Bravo, dude. Bravo. In fact, we're gonna make Hafid the Surly Brewing Company call of the show here. Judd, tell the audience about your favorite coping mechanism after a tough Vikings game.
Well, let's just say there were 6 Surly Furiouses in my fridge, and I thought I might go home and have like 1 or 2. No. Good chance by tomorrow all 6 will be gone because of what I was forced to witness and what I want to forget, which is that Vikings performance. But my friends from Surly and Surly Furious in particular allow me to do that with the IPA that revolutionized that style of beer in this state. It's awesome. If you've tried it, thank you. If you've tweeted me your pictures at Jay Zolgad, thank you. If you haven't, give Surly Furious a whirl. You will enjoy it. It makes Vikings games at least easier to watch.
You know what else makes some of these ugly Vikings games easier to watch? I got my Chill Boys long underwear on today, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Total game changer. Total game changer. Chill Boys are the most comfortable underwear, I think all 3 of us agree, that we've ever worn.
Yep.
So much so that I have gotten rid of all of my non-Chill Boys underwear. Yep. Chillboys.com. It's a Minnesota-based company, so you can support one of us. And they really only care about one thing, your comfort. Get yours at chillboys.com and just have a goofy grin on your face, feeling comfortable when the Vikings are melting down.
Not bad.
Ding.
And they have the purple ones now. They tweeted out, I think, those purple pair. So now there's a purple pair of underwear. And I know Judd Zolgad was also doing modeling. He's racking up these endorsements, man. Good for you, Judd. Good for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am in great shape right now. I'll tell you that right now.
Amazing. All right, let's go back to the fans here. Vikings Vent Line, the most fan-friendly, interactive, and therapeutic show in Minnesota sports.
Omar, what's going on, man? You're on Vikings
What's up,
Vent Line.
man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
what's
sir.
up, Omar?
Yeah, man. I have to watch this team from Canada every week, and I've been doing this since '98. Gary Anderson's been my introduction to Vikings football, so we've had our myriad of ups and downs. But honestly, to be fair with you, my question here is like with Dan Campbell, he deserves a lot more. Like, watching him cry, I'm like, that guy actually cares about his team. Zimmer, I don't know so much, you know what I mean? Because he mentioned that he drinks a lot of coffee, Dan Campbell does, and he said he was going to move on to something a little bit more aggressive. You know, he might want to try the Surly Furious or something because, you know, that was tough to watch. But my question, I have a couple questions here. I wrote down some points. A lot of people mention how Greg Joseph, lost the game against the Cardinals. He saved Zimmer and everyone today. Even though he missed that 49-yard field goal earlier, he kind of saved him today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to look at it. You get 1-1 from Greg Joseph. My question is, though, with Justin Jefferson going crazy, like, nobody can guard him on the field. And I understand the Lions probably adjusted to him. Does Kirk not have the ability to, audible into something where he can change the play to at least, get it to a pass to, maybe Thielen or KJ Osborne? What control does Kirk have in terms of audibling into a different play when he sees the whole world in front of him trying to kill him, let's just say? And today, and my second question maybe is, how bad do you feel the O-line was today? I watched the other games this season, obviously, and I didn't feel like the O-line was as bad as the other games, they've been in the other games. So I feel like for y'all, how did you all feel about, does Kirk ever get that ability to, kind of go into a different play, and how bad the O-line was for y'all?
Those are great questions, Omar. Thanks for jumping on here. Judd, do you – so I don't know if you have inside information or training camp sort of observations, but Kirk has always said things along the lines of, hey, they call the play. Listen, we run the plays that are called. That's sort of been his – he's not a guy like Peyton Manning that's just going to get up there and – call every play himself and survey the defense, right? He's not as demonstrative at the line of scrimmage. I think he's a lot more of a, hey, you tell me what the game plan is, I'll run the plays to the best of my ability. Not that he's not getting the option to check at the line of scrimmage, but I don't think he is as much of a conductor at the line of scrimmage than some of the greats that you're used to watching. What's your observation?
My observation is, first of all, coaching staffs, unless they have a quarterback who's like a Peyton, don't tell you much about the ability that they give their quarterback at the line. And there's a big difference between an audible, which changes the play entirely, and a check. So, I think Kirk has the ability, I would hope at least, to check.
Oh, yeah.
So he sees things. But that's a big, long ways away from I am changing the entire play. And it certainly feels like Kirk does what Kirk says, which is I take the play call and I execute that play call. Because if he didn't, there would be times I think he would check into a pass more often. And it just feels like the second and long thing makes zero sense. It really does. It makes no sense. And so like 2nd and 13, 2nd and 10, I would think if Kirk had the ability to really alter things, he would often be like, okay, the look makes sense to pass here. Let's not just have poor CJ Ham gain 3 yards, right? So my sense is that Kirk's telling the truth when Kirk talks about the fact that I take the play that I'm given and attempt to execute it to the best of my ability, which can drive you wild because football people are such control freaks that you say to yourself at some point in time, hasn't Kirk Cousins played this game long enough where he should have some freedom to maybe make a play because the play call is not really going to result in much?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull this up too with some current data. But the Vikings last year were one of the most run-heavy teams in the NFL on 2nd and long, which is infuriating, right? It's like you get all these weapons in the passing game, and it's 2nd and 13 or something, and like they had a play in the first half, I think it was the second quarter, it's 2nd and 17, they hand the ball off for 5 yards. You are waving the white flag when you hand the ball off on 2nd and 17. And why would you ever consider doing that when you have Justin Jefferson on fire, beating his man and taunting him on every play? Why would you ever hand off to a backup running back on 2nd and 17? All right. And I like Alex Madison. He's your backup running back. Justin Jefferson's out there. Moose Johnston is telling you they had at one point they had a direct snap to Alex Madison on a play. And Moose Johnston, again, a 1990s fullback, thinks your offense is too conservative. And he goes, I don't really love that play call. I don't know why you need to direct snap it to Alex Madison. Why don't you just hand the ball to him? And then he pauses and goes, or throw it to Justin Jefferson.
He's exactly right. And I don't like a 2nd and 13 handoff to Dalvin Cook. I don't like the idea.
Yeah.
Get creative, do something. Today was as bad, I think, of offensive play calling and philosophy as I have seen in a long time here.
So, all right, so I found it. The Vikings, this does not count today's games, but on 2nd and 10 or longer, the Vikings are one of the 5 most run-happy teams in the NFL. They've run the ball going into today. They've run the ball 15 times on 2nd and 10 or longer. So they have waved the white flag 15 times by my count. Pretty amazing. All right.
Keep it going.
Vikings vent line rolls on here.
Let's go to Max with his kitty cat.
Yo, my bad, guys. I don't even know if I have.
Show. You're good. This is a cat-friendly show.
Man, we love pets.
I don't know if I'm really going to come with anything original. I really share the same sentiment with a lot of Vikings fans that like this play calling is ridiculous. It's conservative as far as conservatives come. It's like nothing's going to get more calm, vanilla, plain than what they're doing. And I just want to know if the higher ups have said, this is enough. Like we've gone through this for 8 years, whatever it is, 8, 9 seasons. I can't remember specifically. And I just want to know if they're just gonna pull the plug in the bye week, regardless of the win, because you want to call it a win, but it doesn't feel like it. Like it should have been a blowout, like you guys are saying. And I don't know, man. This team's tough to watch. This team's very tough to watch.
I think, Max, it would take a lot. Like the Wilfs really pride themselves on stability, and they really do like Mike Zimmer because they love Bill Parcells as Giants fans. I think if they would have, if the 2-point conversion would have been the stamp on this game and they lose, I don't think Zimmer would have gotten fired next week. But I think if you lose in that fashion and then you lose again at Carolina, I think there would have been a good chance he got fired at the bye. I don't think, even if they lose to Carolina next week, I would be pretty shocked if they fired him during the bye, just because of how much they want to maintain stability during the season.
But the common theme has really been, chances on chances on chances. I don't know how you even give this a chance, though. It's just you're sitting at home and you're watching it. They go up 10 points. You're like, all right, cool. We probably should have won by 20, but we'll take the victory. And before you know it, we're losing the game. It's crazy to watch. It's frustrating to watch, but we'll rock with this team forever.
Yeah, Max, good stuff, man. Pouring your emotions out. Got
your Max.
Making a cameo.
Take care of that cat.
Always love when people bring their animals in. All right, who's next, Declan? I think Dex is muted there, but
We'll go to Logan. Logan, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much, man. How are you?
What's up, Logan? How you feeling after that?
Very ugly win, man. It feels like a loss listening to this Vent Line right now.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, were you at the point where you wanted the Vikings to actually lose, like some of our friends have been here, or what?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I want Zimmer to get fired ultimately because he's basically the new age Jeff Fisher, in that we're always hovering around 7-9, 8-8, and we have small bursts of being, a good team. But I think, all in all, his whole resume just reminds me a lot of Jeff Fisher.
That's a great comparison. I guess I hadn't thought much about that, but if Mike Zimmer could grow a Jeff Fisher mustache, I think it would pull the comparison full circle. Be here for it.
Yeah, and I just watching the game, it's so frustrating that it seems like he just doesn't trust the quarterback at all. And he's very capable. He's not Aaron Rodgers, but he's very capable. He throws a nice ball. He can win you games if you trust him. So it's just very frustrating with the shuffling musical chairs with Darisaw and Hill. And every time Darisaw came in, it seemed like it gave the offense a little bit of a spark. And every time they put Rashad Hill back in, it just went south. So very frustrating.
Yeah. Logan, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
See you, Logan.
Stuff, Logan.
And why are you doing that to your first-round pick? If he's ready to play, he's ready to play. I mean, if you feel that he can play, approximately, I think it was 5 series in this game, then he's prepared to start. Like, why are you getting cute with this? And by the way, can we just end the Chris Herndon experiment?
Yeah, dude.
Like you traded a 4th-round pick. You just gave it away. He took 2 penalties. He has not caught a pass. He's done nothing. He's done nothing productive. That was a terrible trade, Rick Spielman. Let's just end this thing. It's ridiculous. What's he doing out there? This stuff makes no sense to me. Again, it's not that hard.
I feel like Judd has posed about 14 rhetorical questions.
Do your job. But I mean, you traded a 4th round. You, Rick Spielman, who love 4th-round picks. 4th and 5th-round picks are the lifeblood of the Minnesota Vikings LLC, right? And you gave one away and got a 6th-rounder back for Chris Herndon, who's done nothing, and you clearly have no plans for. Besides, he takes penalties. And the Darisaw thing, I mean, the Darisaw directive should have come down from the front office. He's starting this week, and he's playing, unless he gets hurt. Like this whole thing of, we got to play Rashad Hill some too. Why?
They're trying to ease him in, is the quote that Mike Zimmer used.
But it's ridiculous.
After the game
But I can go downstairs to Mike right now and tell him, don't do that. Like, that's a ridiculous, that is so blind to the situation. He's your left tackle. He's a 1st-round pick. You couldn't play him at first. I get that, but ease him in. So you're trying to ease him in while trying to get Kirk killed by Rashad Hill? Is that what we're trying to do here?
It's weird. It's like ease him in.
Makes no sense.
I mean, is he ready to play or not?
Or not, exactly.
I don't know. I mean,
it's pro sports.
What's the difference? So he played like 30 snaps, but he couldn't handle 58 or 60 snaps. Like I don't know. It's just if he looks to me like he's just right now better than Rashad Hill, and if that's the case, then okay.
Yes.
Well, and by the way, you eased him in by barely playing him in the first half. All right, we're gonna give you the second half. The whole thing's weird. Also, I'm just assuming that everything stinks at this point. Like everything feels off. There, even with the win, there's all these little red flags. I've been very careful not to just call for Mike Zimmer's head, because be careful what you wish for. Like Mike Zimmer is 15 games above 500 as a Vikings coach, and they've been competitive. They went to an NFC Championship game, but today was so glaringly obvious that he is not capable or equipped to lead a team to a Super Bowl. Like he doesn't think about offense enough. He doesn't think about the last 2 minutes of a half enough, whether it's the points the Vikings have given up defensively or just them waving the white flag with 40 seconds to go and 2 timeouts. Like, it's just, dude, you've been a head coach for 8 years, and now you're carving out time to hang out with your quarterback for the first time, and you still haven't figured out game and clock management inside 2 minutes. It's like, dude, then go be a defensive coordinator. That's cool. Just go be a defensive coordinator for the Cowboys or something.
And the lack of truthfulness is galling, because they played Barr, I think, every snap, basically. So you're telling me you got to ease Darisaw in, ease him in, when he actually was playing college football into December last year. But Barr, who hasn't played since September of 2020 can just bounce right back and play all the snaps.
Yeah.
At least come up with a good lie.
Dude, it's so weird too. Like Mike Zimmer talks such a big game, right? Defense, and he's a tough guy, and he'll get in. He's a hard-nosed coach, but then when it comes to offensive aggressiveness, he's one of the most conservative coaches in the entire NFL. And easing his new left tackle in, we're gonna sort of baby him. It's like, dude, he's ready to play. He's here. He's been practicing for 2 weeks. It's time to go. Let's go, dude. Your career is on the line as a coach, and you're running Rashad Hill out there for the first month and a half.
All you need to know is that Dakota Dozier, promoted again from the practice squad, was active today, and Wyatt Davis is not.
Yeah.
You don't trust your third-round pick, and you think Dakota Dozier, who was one of the worst guards in the National Football League last year, if not the worst, can be the backup.
Whoa, okay. I just saw a weird video. A super weird video of Dex. I'm going to try and send this to you so we can play it for the audience here.
I think I know what it might be.
It's the Kirk Cousins, Mike Zimmer. Did you see that video? Kirk Cousins, Mike Zimmer interaction as the kick was going through?
Yep.
Okay.
I got it. I'll cue that up.
All right. We'll play it for the audience and then describe it for the audio audience. It's like Kirk went over to try and fire Zim up after they won the game, and Zim didn't really know what Kirk was doing, or I don't know. It was weird.
It
was very weird. So, all right, let's keep it rolling here. Vikings.
Let's go to Dan. Dan, what's up, man? You are on Vikings Vent Line. How's it going?
Man, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Good, dude.
Good, man. We're here. We're here for you if you need us.
I need you guys today. That's for sure. We all need each other. Look, I've been a long time listener, and I've wanted to come on forever ago, but I was afraid that I would overstay my welcome with too much anger and frustration. But I got notes, so I'm ready.
I love it. This is great. Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Listen, I've been a Vikings fan for like over 20 years, and I've come to this realization, you can call it a conspiracy theory, that I don't think that this team is a real NFL team. I think it's a spoof team of a real team, and it's because their play calling, like everything they do is so predictable. Like I feel like every year it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And like my wife is watching the game next to me and she doesn't know much about football, and I'm over here looking like a psychic because I'm like, oh, this is going to happen.
Screen pass, here it comes.
What happens every single time. And then it's just like we're all on here today. Like, keep in mind we won this game, and like we're more fired up with a win than like with a loss. Like we're all saying the same thing, and it's an insult to this fan base for all these years that we've supported them, that this coaching staff like continues to be so mediocre, and we're wasting talent with just terrible coaching. And yeah, that's like the biggest thing that I wanted to say. I have so many things that I could say, but that's it for now.
No, it does. If it does, no, Dan, thanks for coming on, man. Don't make it be your last time. Jump on again here sometime. Yeah, it's like they have a ton of talent on this team. Think about it. They've got some of the best skill position players in the NFL, and Alex Madison's probably the third best running back in the in the division in the NFC North. And we poke at Kirk for how rigid he is and for his flaws, but Kirk's one of the 12 to 15 best quarterbacks in the world. When he's given protection, he's incredible. Daniil Hunter, Eric Kendricks, Harrison Smith, like they got some dudes on this team, and they're like desperately trying to get into 50-yard field goal range to beat the Lions at home. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, and they literally, I think the reason why this feels like a loss is because they literally just fell apart. Like they came unglued. It was like they were playing a good team, and I just don't get it. But I mean, I will say this as far as play calling goes, and it started with the very curious decisions late in the first half to run Madison twice back to back. The fans did start to boo finally, and like they got booed in the second half offensively, and they deserved it. But this is the same team that watched the Cleveland Browns get the ball right late in the first half last week, And the draw play to Hunt, which got 33 yards, and they went down and got what? A field goal. Eureka, a late field goal. You had 41 seconds. You started with 41 seconds when you got the ball back, and you had a chance to get a field goal attempt. And you just ran out the clock happily as like, da-di-da-di-da, this is going to be fantastic. We'll run out the clock. And you look at that, and I think fans have every right to boo because, Phil, to your point, you look at Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Madison, Conklin. You have options to get the ball done. And I'm not even saying you got to throw a bomb. I'm saying how about a screen? How about a wheel route? How about something that's going to get you a big chunk of yards that allows you to get one more chunk and kick a field goal?
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need to be like you say, like, how about a screen? How about just freaking dropping back and throwing the ball to Thielen and Jefferson? Well, the protection. Okay, as bad as the Vikings, this is another thing too. Yes, the Vikings offensive line is bad at pass protection. But it's overstated how bad it is. It's like, even as bad as it is, you still have a clean pocket 50% of the time. All right? And today I think it was probably even a little bit better than that. Like I don't remember the offensive line just being overwhelmed like they were against Myles Garrett and company, right? Just drop back. What are you worried about? And you know what? Here's the thing. Let's say the worst thing happens, okay? Let's say someone breaks through and it's a strip sack and the Lions house it for a touchdown. Who cares? Just go beat them in the second half. It's the Lions. Take the freaking training wheels off your offense and go score points. And you know what? If you throttle down, sometimes you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes when you throw the ball up to Justin Jefferson, there's going to be an interception. That's okay. But if you're throttling down on a regular basis, the good is going to outweigh the bad. And they're so paralyzed by, well, but like, what if this like 1 in 50 chance of something bad happens? Who cares? Overcome it.
And don't forget too, and this is what happens when you get overly conservative is when you actually screw up. The Madison fumble was trying to be as conservative as possible. That was trying to be like, okay, let's just be safe here. Let's be safe. Oh no, he lost the football. But then the worst part about that is then Zim freaks out and he's like, well, from now on, we're not even going to try that. We're going to go more conservative. But that's where athletes get hurt when they try not to get hurt, and football teams screw up when they try not to screw up. And that's why that sequence with him fumbling and being stripped was so galling. And the other thing too is they put him back in injured. He got hurt the play before, and then they brought Ham in and actually ran a play to Ham, which is I don't know why. And so then they're like, okay, CJ has to come out now. Let's put Madison, who's banged up, dinged up, back in. So I would rather have them take shots actually to try and make a play. At least if you're going to go down that way, as opposed to what we were trying to be conservative as possible, and it still bit us in the ass.
All right, Declan has a clip here. I don't even really know what this is. This is footage of the game-winning kick goes through the uprights, and Mike Zimmer is kind of standing there with his little headset on watching it, and Kirk is fired up, and Kirk is trying to get Mike fired up, and Mike it doesn't really know what's happening at first, and then Mike like lashes out at Kirk, and I couldn't tell if they were just like fired up or if Mike was like, "Get out of my face, you're being weird." Declan, anything to add before we play this?
It's just a quick 6-second clip of them embracing each other, and embracing is a interesting way to say it. Here's the clip.
Here's what it is. Okay. No audio here.
So hold on. Let's go one more time because it's a quick one. Let's go one more time. Here it is again for the video audience.
Okay. Kirk like grabs him by the collar. Like Kirk is fired up and grabs Mike by like the front of the shirt and pulls him in, and Mike like shoves Kirk back. And it was football players get fired up and we're gonna shove each other, but it was like it was a weird interaction. Weird interaction.
That was question number 1 to Kirk in Kirk's press conference, to which he said like 3 words: just trying to fire him up.
Just trying to fire the guys up.
Man, you held them to 20 points, man. You gave us a chance at the end, but I got 3 words for you. You like that?
But you know what?
These are so weird, man. It's such a weird relationship.
That was the perfect ending, like weird sequence to that game.
Yep.
Like instead of being full of jubilation and stuff, it was just this weird one guy tried punching the guy in the chest and the other guy.
And it's also, I feel like today was such a, again, so a microcosm. It was just very symptomatic of the bigger things that sort of haunt the Vikings, right? And why they can't really get to that top level. This is you got the quarterback and the head coach. It's supposed to be the most important relationship of any team, right? It's like the player that has the most influence on winning and the coach and the vision. And these guys have just never fully been on the same page for 4 seasons. And now they're kind of watching film together. But it's like you watch that interaction. It's just very obvious that those guys are not on the same page. One guy's trying to get fired up and the other guy's like, what are you doing? Go away. Okay, I guess I'll get fired up. And it's like, ooh. All right.
Keep rolling.
Ventline rolls on here, the most interactive, fan-friendly show in Minnesota sports. We're here for you guys today, even though they did win the games.
Oh, yes, sir. What up? What up?
PJ, what's up,
PJ?
man?
Man, I've been watching the Vikings since T-Jack, man. He used to be my coach. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, so.
Right on, man.
Cool, dude.
T-Jack,
Rest
man.
in peace. Rest in peace, T-Jack.
So yeah, man. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Like, number one, Christian Darrisaw moves people, man. I play offensive line in college, so that's all I watch. He gets to the second level. He plays with base, plays with good leverage. Like he's it. Get Rashad Hill out of there. He's out of there. Matter of fact, throw all of them out of there. Except for
it's just Darrisaw snapping the ball to Cousins and nobody else. It's just him.
Wingspan, he could do it. But yeah, man. Chiming into what you said about Kirk and Zim's relationship. Ever since 2018, when they let Kirk air it out, and they realized, oh man, this is not gonna work, even though Dalvin was hurt. It was like, oh, no, we're not going to let him throw the ball around. So ever since then, they've been trying to force the ball down people's throat like it's 1986. And it doesn't work. Like, Kirk literally was throwing 4,000 yards a game in Washington before that. He don't have to do that now or whatever, but you can at least make it a little bit more balanced. On top of running the ball on second and long, nobody does that, bro. Like, nobody does that. You give Kirk, you give Eric Bieniemy, I like him. He should be our next coach. He's tough. I like him.
Yeah.
You give Kirk a guy like that, and everybody benefits. Not even just him. The offensive line, they draft differently. Like, it's just a whole nother mentality aside from Zim. I think Zim had a decent run. He's cool, but it's over. I know the players love him, and that's a really hard thing to separate. But it's time. Like, it's really, really time. And I think another thing that's important is Rashad Breeland. Oh my God, he is so bad. I don't care what type of swag he think he got, like trying to brush off haters or whatnot, saying that he the 103rd guy. Like, bro, no. Honest God don't lie, dude. Like, you not it, my bro. Like,
yeah.
when Danzler get back, you out of here, my bro. Like, it's over with for you. You can cheer the crowd on when you get a penalty all you want, bro. Like, that's your own insecurities chomping in right now. Like, you not it, my bro. Like, it's over with.
Yeah. No, it's bad. It's really bad.
And he made like a few tackles today, and I felt like fans came back and said, "Oh, look, Breeland can make some plays here." He made tackles because he got beat. There was the one third, I think it was like 3rd and 12, and the guy got 10 yards, and he at the very last second threw him out of bounds, and so it was a 4th and 2. Which, by the way, the Lions were in Vikings territory, should have gone for it. They didn't, but Breeland was like celebrating. It's like, no, there's nothing to celebrate there.
Yeah, bro. He knows he's bad. Like, he's really, really bad, and it doesn't make any sense to keep playing him. I know it's pride, because a lot of times they want to say they just want to make themselves feel right. Like, yeah, we went out the way and got these guys. They have to be good, or we look bad. So all of a sudden, when these guys are doing bad, you have to be on his side. They have no leverage in that situation, even if they want to sit him. It just makes your decision making bad. Same thing with the tight ends. Oh my God, those guys right there. Oh man, practice squad, them boys. They out of there. Like practice squad, them boys. We need to give Irv Smith the Zenzu beam from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, sir.
Up and get up.
Yes.
Field, baby. It's over with. It is.
Dude, I saw that Bizarro Kyle Rudolph committed a penalty at one point today. I saw number 82 out there. Yeah, that
he dropped
guy.
the pass too.
Yeah,
that's
first
right.
target, I think.
Heck of a game for him. And Herndon, so a 4th round pick for Herndon, and the only 2 times I've heard his name called were today, both penalties. One questionable, but still, nice job.
One more thing, man. Anybody this is just me coming from being a football player and having that competitive spirit. If you looking at your favorite team and you want them to lose, bro, like, you are followed into that same losing mentality that the team you're watching. Do not ever wish for your team to lose, no matter how bad they play. because it's football at the end of the day. Football random. Just like how Aaron Rodgers can go to the Lions and be in a dogfight with them and win. You know, it happens the same way with any other team. Like, it just happens. And since I've been a fan since T-Jack, like, I've seen my fair share of disappointment from the Vikings. But that gives any no incentive to just root for the team to lose. I'm not with that. You feel me? I think better than that.
PJ, you get the round of applause too. Awesome job, dude.
Good work, man.
Yeah.
Dude, like the hat.
Yeah,
good hat.
Plus, I live in Atlanta. My God, like, it's worse being a Falcons fan. I'm trying to tell you.
What do you mean? That they won today? Didn't they win this morning in London?
Yeah, they beat the Jets.
Yeah, they played. This is great.
Bro,
it was a dominant victory.
We beat the Browns in London. The Browns. Come on.
Yeah,
I love how those poor London fans. Like every year, it's like, all right, who are we going to feature? The Jets, the Browns. We're going to let's have the Texans out there in front of 80,000 screaming British fans.
Then who played in Mexico last year? Didn't somebody play in Mexico?
They canceled it, didn't they? I thought they canceled it because
I think they canceled it too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the Cowboys or something, but they take garbage and ship it across the ocean, and they're all very thankful. Oh, we love to see your garbage.
The Jaguars, yeah, you guys will love them. It'll be great.
Really good.
They're on back order. They stuck on the ship on back order.
PJ, thanks for jumping on, man. Hopefully we see you again sometime. One of the first things he brought up was just going back to, like, you know, second and long. Why are the Vikings running the ball? I found another stat. All right. So I told you guys earlier in the show, second and long, and by second and long I mean second and 9 or more. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Vikings going into today ran the ball 15 times, which is the third most of any team in the NFL on second and 9 or more. Yeah. And so, of course, like, Mike Zimmer thinks, well, we didn't do anything on first down, so we need to, you know, fall forward for some yardage and move, rather than thinking about, no, like, we have an arsenal of pass weapons. Like, what's the best way to chunk yards here? So 15 runs on second and long going into today. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have run the ball 14 times, period, on second down all season. Yeah. On second and everything. Second and 2, second and 5. It's like the Buccaneers say second down is our take a shot down. And that's why we're a big play, you know, big chunk offense. So Tom Brady obviously is the greatest quarterback of all time. So maybe they trust him more than the Vikings trust Kirk. But still, that's pretty amazing.
But when you have the weapons that the Vikings do, that's what's perplexing and disturbing. And Kirk is not terrible. But when you have Jefferson and Thielen and Osborne now, and this is the first time in a long time that I think they've had 3 guys at receiver who you trust. And you don't ever try and take shots. And you know what? Forget second and long. How about second and short? A little play action. It's going to freeze the defense.
Sorry, we have breaking Vikings Twitter news.
Okay.
Bashad Breeland has spoken on Twitter. All right, this is PG-13 at minimum here. Okay. So if you got kids, just turn the volume down for 10 seconds. Bashad Breeland tweets, "I'm convinced y'all love my Johnson in y'all mouth. Enjoy the win and shut the bleep up."
Like Johnsonville Brats?
Yes, like a Johnsonville Brat.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Which could be a sponsor. By the way, Johnsonville Brats, your sponsorship right
mustard
here.
on that, dog?
I love my Johnsonville. I love my Johnsonville Brats.
Dude.
You got to be kidding.
Probably just don't want to tweet that.
What is up with cornerbacks tweeting following home games? Like Dantzler, and he's going to be like, I didn't mean, you guys misinterpreted it.
I don't even like. This dude's out here just fighting fans. He's telling fans to shut the bleep up. And then I won't read it again. But, like, one of the more vulgar things you can say to somebody. Oh, it's amazing. You got Dantzler chirping at fans a couple weeks ago. Bashad Breeland.
Am I missing something with the first part? Like, does the first part make sense besides just being offensive?
What do you mean? What do you mean does the first part make sense?
I'm convinced y'all love, like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, I think it's just being offensive, but it doesn't make sense.
He's saying, I don't know.
There's a way to say this, and we're not going to do it on the show.
But you can tell me. But I'm asking. No. I'm not asking you to explain on air. What I'm saying, Dex, is does it make sense?
Yes.
Like I'm 51, going on 52. I probably
in our
don't
classic Mackie and Judd conversations off mic. Yes, that can be explained.
What he's insinuating here is y'all like talking about me so much. Y'all must like me a lot. You must like me enough to want.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
This is awesome.
That's how much like you're talking about me this much. Then you must really like me enough to want.
I hear you.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right, let's.
All right.
Should we keep going?
All right.
Let's get the fans back in here.
All right, here we go.
Let's get a Vikings fan in. Jeremy, what's up, dude? That's your great transition. You're on Vikings event line. How are you?
Yeah, it's a long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, so there's not a lot of Vikings fans out here. So you guys are truly therapeutic at the end of every Sunday.
Urban Meyer's place, by chance?
Oh well, not any longer. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Urban's home.
Yeah.
I heard someone last week call him a Bourbon Meyer. That's his new nickname.
Hey. Yeah, there you go.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of Rashad, I mean, that was one of the things I was going to mention is just how terrible he is completely. I forgot that Dantzler had the COVID stuff, because that's why he was out, right? Was the COVID?
Yep. Correct.
Yeah, I forgot that he was out. So I was pretty frustrated seeing Breland out again. But the other thing, I mean, I've been a Vikings fan my whole life, and so a lot of these things are unfortunate. It's crazy how much they can still surprise you, even though they do the exact same thing every week.
So well played.
But man, it was around like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I think, was left in the fourth quarter. We were up 16-9, and they were making plays as if there was 30 seconds left on the clock. It was first down. We were in their territory, and they ran 3 run plays to like run the clock down. Mm-hmm. And it is at that point that it's like, all right, this game's over. There's just they play the game as if they're all 100 years old and haven't watched a modern football game, and just make the most conservative plays. Whereas any other team would just continue driving down the field and just continue to score points. But they decided 3 minutes and 30 seconds was 7 points was enough of a lead to just run the ball, which led obviously to an almost loss.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every week when the Vikings lose, my wife knows I immediately am like, all right, Vikings vent line, I need some therapy. It's the first time that they've won, and I've immediately been like, all right, I need to go get some therapy.
Good for you.
Yeah,
no, we're here for you, man. This is free of charge. It really.
The key is to know you, though, and you know that you need therapy after this piece of garbage we were forced to watch.
It's World Mental Health
that.
Day, and Jeremy is taking advantage of that here.
That's right.
On Vikings Ventline. Thanks for jumping on, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep going here, Dex.
All right, man. Let's go to Jabril. Jabril, what's going on, dude? With the hookah, I think you're.
What's up, Jabril?
Definitely hookah.
Love it.
Thirdly, I need some insurance from Federated Mutual.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, if you need frontline protection like Christian Darasaw brought today for the first time, Federated Insurance is here to help you. They're big on risk management. They're big on fire prevention. In fact, that's the theme of the month here. Just make sure that your systems are up to date when it comes to fire prevention, employee protection. Federatedinsurance.com, and remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours.
And quickly, very appropriate, because early in this game, the fire alarm went off in the building, and then there was an announcement that is clearly comes with the fire alarm. And they just decided, let's shut it off. It was the greatest. Like the fire alarm's going off.
So the building could have been on fire, but hey, the Vikings are on offense. We don't have time for this.
Just shut it off. And at first
time.
we thought, oh man, it's part of the game ops. No, it was the fire alarm. A very fitting way to start the day. They should have Federated right here in this building.
Amazing. All right, Jabril, your floor. Go ahead.
I've been on all year. I was on a couple times last year. I just have so much to say. First things first, I almost got in a bar fight with a bunch of Patriots fans week 1, protecting my Vikings. You know, we couldn't beat the Bengals. I was just telling my girlfriend about the game. We were up 16-6 most of the game, and it's just like, when are we going to separate ourselves and put this game away? I think, and CeeDee Lamb just scored a touchdown. I think I'm more upset because I had a parlay today, 2 touchdowns with Derrick Henry in the win. Justin Jefferson, 150 yards in the win, and Zeke Elliott, 100 rushing yards in the win. So, as you know, Justin Jefferson killed me on that, even though he had 100 at halftime. So, I'm like, this is bad. At some point, I don't know why you don't keep going to him. I don't understand why we don't utilize the best part of our offense, especially when Dalvin Cook is not in the game. The conservative play on third down kills me. A direct snap. Who's it's not Madden. You know, I can't throw the ball every play that I want to, or get Kirk 400 yards passing. But I mean, they have corners at their best corners out of the game. Okuda, he's not playing. Why not keep feeding Justin Jefferson? Why consistently go for it on third down, and we run the ball on third down and fumble and give them a chance to win? Now, I never wanted to lose the game because I had the Vikings on all of my tickets, which I normally don't do. But I wanted Justin Jefferson to get to 150 yards. That didn't happen. But it's just like, I don't know if we're, like you said, we're playing not to lose, and that should never be your strategy playing football. You should always play to win. You got to take risks, and we're not going to take that next leap to the next level if we're not trying to do the best thing that we can on offense. Like, we're limiting ourselves, and it's sad because the 2 wins that we have against the Lions, a Seahawks team that has no offensive line, that has no defense at all. So I haven't been excited about any of the wins that we have this year. I said if we lost this game, I'll be completely done. I'll start watching hockey or something.
There you go.
If we're not 3-3 by the bye, which we have less than 2 weeks now, we had to beat the Panthers, I'm pretty much done on the season because, I mean, we're not going to win the Super Bowl, honestly. I mean, the only way that happens is if something clicks out of nowhere, which doesn't really happen for football teams. Either you have it or you don't. So and that's another reason, with this being probably one of our last years with our Kirk experiment, why are we not trying to do as much as we can in the air? Like, this should be the year that we transition. You know what? Our backs against the wall. If we don't get it done, Zimmer's probably gone. Spillman's probably gone. Everybody's probably gone. So let's do as much on offense as possible. Let's prove that we should have a job. This right here showed that you guys shouldn't have a job.
Yeah,
the play calling was awful.
Jabril, thanks. You always bring great insight. Appreciate you jumping on the show here. And to that 3-3 notion, too, because they're 2-3 right now, and the Panthers are on the horizon. So the Panthers blew a 15-3 lead at home to the Eagles today and lost 21-18. So they dropped to 3-2 and will have a bad taste in their mouths as they head into practice for the week. The Panthers have racked up some wins against bad teams, but that's a really good defensive front that you're going to have to face. It's a road game. So, the season, if you go into the bye 2-4, and then you got to come out against Dallas and Baltimore and the Packers and the Chargers, right? Like, this Panthers game, if you don't win it, you can, whether you want to fire Zimmer at the bye or whether you want to fire him after the season, like, I don't think you're making the playoffs if you don't beat the Panthers this upcoming weekend.
I just feel like today's game was really a test of the Vikings. Like, Detroit stinks. So this was a great game to come out and just fire on all cylinders offensively and defensively, and to use a complete boring cliche, make a statement. And they didn't even come close to it. And it started with coaching. Like, it didn't start with players. It started with coaching. Like, it was like they were playing not to lose and desperate, instead of saying, you know what, like, if they believed their own garbage about, we've lost some close games and we are not a 1-3 team. We are far superior, but we've had some bad luck. You would have come out today and put your foot on the Lions' throat from the very start, right? And made a statement. Because I think my problem with the Vikings has far more to do with them than their opponents. My problem is, who are they? Who do they truly believe that they can be? And I don't think they know the answer. But I think this garbage about 1-3 doesn't reflect us. Today, they played like a team that 1-3 clearly reflects, and they won. Yeah. They won.
By the way, if you had over under 6 minutes on how long it would take Bashaud Breeland to delete that tweet lashing out at Vikings fans, if you had the under, then you would.
Gone?
Yeah, he has deleted the tweet.
Oh, Bashaud,
enough people have screenshotted it, though. So
unfortunately, Bashaud, once it's on Twitter, it's on Twitter.
Do you think so? How does that work? Like, does a PR person, or it's got to be like a Vikings PR person, reaches out and says delete it? Or do you think that the Vikings PR people have all the logins for their Twitters and just go in there?
When we're done, guess who's going to go do some insighting and find out for tomorrow's show? Because I'm sitting PR. I'm pointing right now, right down there.
Yeah, just ask them, like, when one of your cornerbacks, which is becoming a weekly thing now, when one of your cornerbacks tweets something stupid right after the game from the locker room, like,
right?
Do you guys have to, like, make them delete it?
And the Dantzler thing, I will say this, and he is not a mature kid yet. But in Dantzler's case, I'll defend him just a little bit because he watched Bashaud Breeland like we did, and he's like, this guy sucks. You mean I can't play? And then the next week he did play a ton.
Yeah.
Breeland ripped the fans. Buddy, don't rip the fans. This is not the fans.
Yeah. Also, like when a franchise like Kansas City just decides, yeah, we're probably good on this guy. And he was like the 26th ranked cornerback according to PFF last year, so he wasn't a train wreck last year. And they're like, yeah, we're probably good on this guy.
Did you
might
see
be a sign.
And did you see who had a pretty good defensive game for the Kansas City Chiefs last week?
I'm going to guess Mike Hughes probably, huh? Yeah.
Yep, the Vikings were convinced he was done, and it looks like he wasn't done.
Interesting. All right, let's keep moving here on Vikings Vent Line presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Titus, what's going on,
Titus?
man?
Yo, what's going on, you guys? How you guys doing?
Good, dude.
What's happening with you?
I don't know how to feel. I think a lot of people don't know how to feel about this game, but I think the fire alarm in the stadium was actually working because it was working really well because there was an incoming dumpster fire and it was on top of it. So how can you be upset about that? But if I'm looking at this game, if I'm the Wolves, I'm like I can't let this trick me. Like I have to look at the big picture and be like, look at all these games. Look what's happened. I can't let this be like, oh, Zim's fine now. Oh, everything's fine. No, it's not fine. And you kind of almost threw that game away. And that's a game you got to go in and you just got to win.
Yeah, no, it's true. I don't think ownership looks at that game and thinks, yeah, like what a clutch victory. Come from behind at the end. I think they're probably just as disgusted and are probably sitting there thinking, okay, well, it's interesting the way that game played out. We'll see what happens. I think it's just another piece of information, and I don't think it's positive information for ownership.
Yeah. And one of those things I kind of see like this pattern with the Vikings lately, and it's it's let's keep the game close. Let's give the other team a chance. Let's and there's so many like the Bengals game, the Cardinals game. It always comes down to these little chances that each team. It's like a battle. It's like, oh, you have the game. No, you have the game.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you guys doing out here? Like go in and either dagger. I mean, you got to go in and either dagger this team, right? Or you just got to lose. Like if you're gonna lose, just lose. Don't flirt with this. Don't do that flirting on the line there. Like just make a decision, go in and win, or just go lose. Like. How can you be happy about this? So
no, these are good points, man. Good stuff, Titus.
Yeah,
and I think you're right. Like a lot of people are like, just like Titus said off the top of his call, I don't know how to feel. This is weird.
Well,
if they had lost, you could just be fully like venomous and call for heads. But no, they're 2-3. Okay, all right.
But it just feels like here we go again, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're in 2020 going into the bye 1-5. And so at that point, I'm like, just lose out. I mean, who cares? Just get the draft pick.
Not
and
this
then, of
franchise.
course, they rally. They are the 2016 Wild. They are the new Furious Rallies.
This franchise is a gravitational pull to 500, regardless of which direction you start. You start 1-5, gravitational pull toward 500. Here comes the hot streak, right? You start 1-3. Oh, we're going to give you an ugly win over the Lions. Or if you're off to a hot start like they were with Sam Bradford 6-0 or whatever it was, then we're gonna pull you back in. You're gonna finish 8-8. I mean, that's what it is. Kirk Cousins is also a gravitational pull toward 500.
Do you know what this is not? This is not a likable team. Like it's just not a likable team. And if they won, we wouldn't care about that. But I don't like teams where we're like, oh, look at all the talent, but they don't know how to use the talent. And then the majority of players, you're like, I don't. Jefferson's a great player. I love him. But Cousins and Thielen, and I'm not saying, I mean, they're fine guys, I'm sure, in life. But as far as athletes go, it's just like, whatever. And it's just frustrating because Titus is exactly right. It's like, pick your path. Like today, how do you not just come out here and be like, bam, we are all in. It's Detroit. I don't care if it's Detroit or Jacksonville or a little league team.
Yeah.
We're going to beat the crap out of this team. And they just don't do it. I mean, it does. And I don't know if Dex would agree with me on this or not. It does remind me of the Wild 5 years back, where you're like, there's a lot of talent here, and I just don't think it works. I don't like how it fits together. I don't feel like they're structured to have an instinct of let's go do this. I feel like it's like, okay, our backs are against the wall now, and now let's show everybody. That doesn't work.
Yeah, it's eerily similar to that Wild team. It's just it's not bad enough to tank, it's not good enough to be elite, and you're stuck between that 15th and 16th spot in your draft order at the end of the day.
And that's where you hit the detonate button.
That's right.
I can't stop watching this Kirk Zimmer video. It's so weird. Can we play it one more time, Dex?
Yeah.
Or or play it like 3 times because
Okay,
it's like 6 seconds left.
Okay.
Or 6 seconds long. It's Kirk getting fired up, grabbing after the game-winning kick goes in. Zimmer, okay, so Kirk punches Mike in the chest, grabs him by the collar. Zimmer then like shoves Kirk away, and an assistant coach like pulls Zim back, almost like, watch this guy, like this assistant coach almost feels like, are they fighting?
Yeah, it's hard
so
to tell.
weird. It's just, I mean, Kirk is
It's
just
very-
like, he's kind of an awkward, uncomfortable guy, and he's trying
That's
to
so
be
hard to
an
tell.
alpha.
And it's the moment, like that's
It was like when
that's
Mike
weird.
Tyson shoved Stone Cold in the first promo, like at WWF Raw in '98. It was like, wait, who's at fault here? What are
I
we doing?
will say this: football sidelines are odd places. So like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't mean
make
much
sense.
that looks like a lot.
Yeah, Kirk said I was just celebrating with him. I was just fired up.
Yeah.
So
All right, buddy.
weird. All right, Vikings Vet Line rolls on here. Mackie, Judd, Declan, please click the subscribe and the like button on this video. Click the like button if you're just sick of the Vikings right now, even though they won. All right, let's go to, is it Kyle?
Yes, Kyle Nelson.
What's up, Kyle?
I'm a resident here in Dallas, but originally grew up in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Cool.
And just wanted to support Judd's stance on passing on first downs. I'm just running through the plays here on my app, and one in particular was the 5th series in the second half, where we unfortunately ended up with an interception.
Mm-hmm.
But they passed on first down at the 5-yard line, got 11 yards, and then decided to then run on the next first down. Completed a pass to D.D. Westbrook. So like how Judd was saying, like change it up, pass it to KJ Osborne, and just spread the field. And the more I think about the need to pass on first down, it makes me think of like 98 and 09, where like, and you had and Smith in 98, and when you're able to spread the field, and Smith was running long yardage because so many people were anticipating and pass defense. And then likewise in 09, and you have Adrian Peterson, even though they would periodically put a lot of people like 9 men in the box, and you had Brett Favre adamantly throwing it to Schenko and Sidney Rice, and you it's almost predictable, and when you know you are a run happy team, that it makes me question, like when they're in practice, how often do they do pass blocking schemes or series to try and really open it up?
Yeah. No, Kyle, you're
Awesome stuff, dude.
Thank you for coming on. I mean, I think Mike Zimmer in his mind, he believes that the offense is just there to not crash the car, and that the car should be driven by defense. So let the defense do its thing. I'm going to call the defensive plays. I'm going to focus my energy during the week on defense. And offense, we want you to like score points and be explosive, but not, don't do too much. All right, don't go up to the high dive. Let's make sure the speedometer, let's keep it under 60. Okay, let's just be conservative. Don't scrape the paint on the outside. I mean, that's where he comes from. And I almost feel like if he were to pour the same attention and energy into defense that he always does, but then instead of demanding a conservative approach offensively, if he were to be a little bit more like Bruce Arians and say, all right, I'm not going to like scheme it with you, but you have my permission, Clint Kubiak and previous coordinators, to be super aggressive. I want shots. I want deep balls. I want 15 targets to Justin Jefferson today. I don't care if he's double teamed. Throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. And we're going to probably throw some more interceptions doing it that way, but we're going to, over the top of that, we're going to score more points, and we're going to put more pressure on teams. You know, he could demand that without getting super involved with offensive meetings and scheme. He could say, take the training wheels off, let's go score 40 points. But he doesn't want to play that way.
Well, and these last two games in particular with Clint Kubiak are a sign of why you don't hire Clint Kubiak, who, by the way, for all I know, might be a brilliant offensive mind. He might be Don Coryell. I don't know. But look at who had the most success with Mike. It was Pat Shurmur, who was what? A veteran coach, veteran coordinator. Mike trusted him. What this is assuming that Clint's not screwing the pooch himself, which he might be, but let's just assume he's not for a second. What this is a guy who's 34, 35, working for a conservative veteran defensive coach who basically says, this is what I want. Now, my guess is he told Shurmur lots of the same stuff, but Shurmur had Case Keenum and said, Mike, you worry about your thing. I'm going to do this for you. And he did a great job. And that was why Shurmur worked so damn well. And this, and Gary, for Gary's faults, what Gary Kubiak had was the cachet to probably say, Mike, sit down. I just want to talk to you briefly. Here's what we should do. And Mike's like, okay, I guess if you're going to do that. But when you bring a relative child play caller into the booth and be like, you're going to do this, he's not going to say, no, I'm not. He's not going to say this makes no sense. So I don't know where it's coming from, but all I know is that this is now probably the worst way these last two games to run an offense that you possibly can, because you're basically you have the parking brake on and you're driving. That's what this is. The parking brake's never off, and you're going to fry the entire car soon. Congratulations for that.
By the way, there's another angle. There is the weird Kirk Zimmer exchange after the game-winning field goal went in.
Yep.
So there's the broadcast view, and it's Kirk grabbing Mike fired up, like grabbing him by the collar and shaking him, and he's saying, "You like that." So that's definitely just Kirk's trademark, right?
Yeah.
Anytime there's
You like that? You like that?
And so he's just startling. He's just walking up to people at the coffee shop. You like that? Walking up to Zimmer.
Am I being a complete jerk here by saying, and this is what kills me about Kirk sometimes, know the situation? Like
it's an exciting.
Be excited. You won.
It's a fourth quarter comeback.
It's against Detroit. You almost blew the whole thing.
I hear you.
Go up to Zimmer but I mean, he punches him in the chest.
But
that's reserved for a playoff game, a Super Bowl.
No, I disagree on that. I think if you're Kirk in that moment, you're fired up, man. Like you just came from behind in the last 35 seconds.
Detroit.
Yeah, but you're.
I'm
to save your season. To save your season. I'm not going to rip Kirk for this.
Yeah.
I would like the entire team to have shaken hands and walked off the field and acknowledged that they were a complete embarrassment today.
I hear you.
I feel like championship teams would say, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. That was pathetic."
I get you there. Like, is Tom Brady in a game in which Tom Brady would have been disgusted by that performance?
He's going to punch Belichick and be like, "You like that, Bill?" He's going to be like, we got a lot to clean up here, and that was really bad. And thank the good Lord today. It's Sunday. I go to church every Sunday. Me and Don go to church. We'd like to thank the good Lord for this win.
All right, I hear you on that. We should talk more about that maybe on like tomorrow or Tuesday show. I'd be curious to hear Alex Boone's thoughts on what's an acceptable level of celebration after you pull that win off.
Love it.
All right, let's keep going here.
Let's roll through a few more callers here. We got JG. JG, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line.
I work at the stadium and I look at Vikings fans. There was one kid, and I call him a kid. He was in his 20s, and the Vikings are up 16-6, and he looks at me and says, "Boy, that was a hard-fought win today." And I said, "Shut up. I've been down this road too many times for you to be jerking me around like that." And guess what happens? 2 minutes later, all hell's broke loose. He's about in tears. And after the game, I'm ushering people out, and this guy, every guy and lady's got a look on their face like, what happened there? And I finally said to an older guy, I said, it's kind of like kissing your sister in the dark. The lights come on, and there she is, and you're like, oh, no, that's my sister. I can't tell anybody. You still got kissed, but it's not the same. You got to win, but it's like, how embarrassing.
Man, just turn the lights
And-
back off and enjoy it.
Just like you still got Kiss, so that's a win, right? But you're not going to tell anybody. You're like it's a lion. Like just stop. And I'm sitting there like Dede Westbrook, which is that short for Denise? That guy screws more shit up on the goal line than anybody I've ever seen. Like, what is the
Hey,
protocol
easy,
there?
watch
Like,
the language. Watch the language.
Sorry.
We don't want to. We get in trouble here.
Sorry, but like at the 10-yard line, it's like, is it just a coin flip while he's waiting for it? Like, am I going to grab this thing, or how bad a field position am I going to put people in here? I just, and then it's like you got two of the best wide receivers in your division for sure, probably in the NFL, and it's like on 3rd and 10, they're throwing it for 4 yards. They could play with 10 guys. They don't need an extra guy out there. So it's awkward there right now. I mean, people want them to lose. I hate to say that, but there's a lot of people.
That's my question, because so you're in the stadium and you're seeing like,
Yeah.
did you sense that people wanted the Vikings to lose in that stadium?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I got to be careful because I'm pro-Viking, of course. But I think people, somebody brought up a stat this week that there are, in the last year and a half, the Vikings have been above 500 1 week or something. And it's like, the whole thing about we want to see him win a Super Bowl before we die. This mediocrity, it's like Zimmer's a nice guy. He's well respected, loved in the community and at the organization. But it's like, when is enough? And I think people are like, we need to have this 3-14 season so we can blow the thing up, get a quarterback for once that hopefully doesn't, destroy his knee in a weird thing at practice. And we actually win games with a guy who costs us $7 million a year versus 45.
Yeah. Yeah, no, JG, thanks for the insight from the stadium there too. Just it's interesting to get.
I like how he kicked in with, I've got to be careful after he called Dede Westbrook a derogatory name and dropped the S-bomb. I got to be very careful about what I say from here on out. But these,
I think you'll be fine, JG. I think you'll be fine. Sorry, go ahead, Judd. Continue.
Oh, no, I just thought it was funny. It was well past the point of, I can't say much more. You just ripped him, and he's right.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything that was
Dede Westbrook
get him
also
fired.
in his defense. There was a play, I think it was in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, where he was fair catching a punt deep in his own territory, and Chris Boyd almost ran him over. And Westbrook stopped. It's like, what are you doing?
I saw that.
This is Chris Boyd on special teams. Another one.
Yeah.
Chris Boyd on special teams drives me nuts sometimes.
Let's go to Zach here on Vikings Vent Line.
Zach, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Hey, I just want you to know I watch you guys all the time. Judd, I love your hockey show. You guys talk about
Appreciate it.
Twins. I felt like today was almost like the T-Wolves win a couple nights ago where I'm like, dude, they're losing the whole game. 5 minutes left. And I'm like, dude, T-Wolves are done. They're not going to score. They're not going to come back. And then it's an overtime win. I'm like, wow. Today, I'm thinking, all right. Talking to my friend, I'm like, dude, we have the ball. We're gonna run it. And I don't know if you guys saw Sean McDermott's text, or he said a quote saying, "Run the ball. If you want to run the ball, bad things are gonna happen, like a holding. Something's gonna happen." All of a sudden, Alexander fumbles it. If you pass the ball, Kirk Cousins do an awesome job. They have their cornerbacks out. Their secondary's hurt. I don't know what you're doing. But anyways, you end up doing your old formula. It gets messed up. Today's win is almost worse than the Browns loss. I'm thinking at the end of the game, dude, I don't know which one hurts more. We should have won that game. We should mistakes. Well, it was a Lions mistake, but we let them back in. Pretty much what the Cleveland Browns did. I'm really disappointed in today's everyone has. I think the most disappointing thing that I'm disappointed is the Vikings culture, because I think you guys brought this up where you guys were talking about with the Wilfs. I mean, even before I'm trying to think of when the Vikings were the most fun to watch, when we threw it. Well, Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Jake Reed, thinking hey, that was fun to watch. Ever since then, besides Brett Favre and getting us that far, I don't know.
And Brett Favre, dude, Brett Favre's the one that brought the 2009 season.
Dude,
it was all very childress, conservative, right? And then Brett Favre came in, he's like, conservative. We're slinging this thing. Let's do he's the one that brought it to that championship contention level.
Yes, and it's just so frustrating to watch. It's like that was. I mean, I don't even know how Brett Favre came onto the Vikings. I mean, I know the alignment went down there. We're like, hey, Brett, you need to come play for our team. Like, we got to do this, stick it to Green Bay. But, like, honestly, that besides the Randy Moss was his rookie season, that's probably, like, the most fun, like, Vikings season-wise. Not game-wise, but season-wise. But just, like, I don't know why, with Brad Childress, with Frazier, I just feel like we've always been, like, he was a Tampa 2 guy. Hey, we're going to play defense. We're going to play this defense. We sucked. Like, we did not do good as a defense, and we had good defense. Mike Zimmer comes in, supposed to change things, and we had our core, like, our defense that he wants to play, he should have had back in 2015 or 14 or whenever we first started, because that's what he wants to do. But he had Daniil Hunter as, like, a rookie. He had Anthony Barr that was, young, and everyone was young. Now he wants to keep doing the same thing with the same guys, like you said. He played Barr the whole game. We can't play Darisaw on a offensive, like, half the game. No, he didn't even play half the game, I don't think. I saw him in, like, three. I don't even know how many snaps his total count was.
Yep.
It's frustrating to see that his coaching style is and I don't know if anyone says anything to him. Does he have the full, like, Rick, stay out of my business? Like, I feel like he's a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes,
I don't know if you guys, like, he's like, dude, it's Stone Cold said it, and that's the bottom line. Like, it's
no, dude. And by the way, Zach hit the wrestling reference that's going to tug at the heartstrings of Declan and I there to wrap it here. But I think what happens is, I'm sure Rick Spielman has some input on the way that, what if we did things this way? And Mike Zimmer's like, yeah, it's cool. I'll definitely consider that. And then Mike Zimmer just coaches the way that he wants. That's what this is. This is Mike Zimmer's team. It's not like Rocco Baldelli as a puppet for the Twins front office or something. Like, Mike Zimmer coaches the way that he wants to coach. He greenlights the things that he wants to greenlight and red lights the other things. And so that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, and Rick's not doing exactly a bang-up job with moves. The majority of their draft class does not play. The Herndon trade, yeah, it's small, but it's still a big deal. I mean, you gave away. Don't come back now and say, well, draft picks are our lifeblood. Draft picks are what make this franchise go, and then give away a fourth-round pick, which is not a bad pick, for a guy who literally can't play, does not fit. The Breland signing, which I think you can probably blame on both Mike and Rick, looks absolutely awful. I don't know if he doesn't fit the scheme, if he's just simply cooked. But when you look at, I think what people have broached today, and I find it interesting, and I think it's probably right, is they've broached the culture. But I think that we also could have a pretty good conversation this week about the culture and the process, because I don't think the process is working. I really don't think is working. I don't think the process from the GM to the coach to the quarterback to the entire thing right now is panning out, and that's a huge problem.
Sorry, I keep watching this video of Zimmer and Kirk. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Kirk, it's not the first time Kirk's been involved in, like, a really uncomfortable thing that probably means nothing.
Kirk is amped up to, like, level 12 out of 10.
That's why
pumped about that win. And Zimmer's trying to process just, like, the ugliness of the win.
He just saved the job. Like, he probably gets fired tomorrow morning if they lose. There's a chance. So in Mike's defense, he's probably like, oh, my God, and Mike probably had some pride, too. That was embarrassing. Yeah. There was nothing. I mean, I can see it being like, oh, good, we won, and shaking hands. But my God, don't act like you just won a championship.
How do you guys feel about the pie chart of praise tomorrow? Because we do. It's Pie Chart Monday tomorrow on Purple Daily. Pie chart of praise.
This will be the smallest, simplest Judd pie chart ever.
What do you mean smallest? The pie is 100% every time. You can't shave
percentages
off the pie.
I'm sorry. I'm saying as far as my pie will be divvied up into probably two pieces. I ordinarily go 6 to 7.
Yeah, this is like where the recipe is like, you need a cup of sugar, and I don't have a cup of sugar. Like, okay, so I'll pivot to this. Okay, but I don't have this either, and you have to pivot to that.
This will be
like, I have no idea the chef I'm gonna be cooking up here in about a couple hours. I have no idea.
For me personally, will be the first pie chart of praise that I've cooked up. 100% cyanide. It'll kill you. This is a pie chart of cyanide.
No, I see. Okay, Nuge 1717. There is no pie chart of praise. Make it a pie chart of blame.
We can't do that.
No, they won the game. It'll be a pie chart of praise tomorrow on Purple Daily.
Nuge, I'm with you. Like I want to do that as well, but we can't.
Yep.
It's going to have to be a pie chart of praise, but it's going to be really small for me.
We will
not
do
giving a lot.
nitpicks, and Surly Judd must be furious tomorrow as well. So there will be. My guess is the pie chart portion, the pie chart of praise, will be a quick one, and then we can spend the rest of the time on nitpicks.
Oh,
on
nitpicks
Purple
will
Daily
be
tomorrow.
nitpicks will be enormous.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Vikings Vent Line, the most
go,
fan-friendly, interactive show in
time for Shirley
Minnesota
Furious. I'll
sports.
see you guys later. This is disgusting.
We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die, and they took a step forward with a win today against the Detroit Lions. 2-3, one step closer to a Super Bowl. Were you doing the Bashad Breeland there,
God,
or were you? What was that?
No, I was puking. I was throwing up. I was going to
Okay.
gag myself.
Okay.
No, there's no.
Okay.
Dex, quit acting like you're this.
Well, you made a weird
mature-
motion, dude. I
Yeah,
don't know what that was.
No, I know. It was a puke.
Okay,
Because
I just want. Okay.
that game was puke worthy. Disgusting game.
Oh man. All right. Well, we're here for you guys. We are your Vikings therapists, even after a win, apparently. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please click the like button and the subscribe button. Help spread the word about the show on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We'll see you guys next time.